All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
That shit was tripping, Gyiraszin. What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I don't know what's going on. Pop Stoner in here. Go Collect. Michael Ortiz, Jacob Stubbs, Ricky, William, of course, Gyiraszin. But before I throw it to my man, Gyiraszin, this dude won $300,000 yesterday. Our man Shalhoub. Shout out to Shalhoub. Literally had the nuts. I mean, pretty much. You don't need the nuts in MLB, but in every contest, in high stakes, all the way down to low stakes, 300,000 big ones. Such a sick night. I got two other people I got to shout out. Dartsman. So Shalil, our guy, passed up Dartsman at the end. It was I don't know if it was a Teoscar, if it was, can't remember who it was, an RBI late that passed Dartsman. He had a single bullet, $18, all the way to $15,000. Huge shout out to Dartsman. Insane stuff. Almost got to first, but you will take that payday every single day. And then another one, our man Pickens. He shouted us out. He watched the show yesterday. A lot right on the show. I hope we could replicate that every single day. I don't think that's going to be the case. But he won the $3, and he took third in the $5, I believe. So awesome stuff to Pickens. Plenty of screenshots. I saw Rio had a great call on Jamal Murray. Awesome stuff going on at Chipin Nation. But Shalhoub, the absolute stud, definitely is the king of Tuesday. Gyiraszin, how are we doing today?
Good, man. I'll be doing better if Shalhoub mails me a pallet full of high noons over here in Westland. That'd be really cool. But man, Ty, I woke up and fired up. You see the shirt I got on? AC/DC. The wife and I are going to the AC/DC concert tonight. I'm fired up. I can't wait to do that. Go to see these old bands. I'm trying to do that while they're still around. But man, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. The sun's shining here in Michigan. Everything's good. And like you said, we got a lot right yesterday, that's for sure, in what we were talking about. But hey, it's another day today. We got to start over. We don't get bonus points for coming in first yesterday. So we're going to have to look at it, start again. But I'll tell you what, that starting pitching shit we got going on today make you want to drink. That is for sure. I already see Jen Stoner said about a 500 milligram edible. That might be one of them days today. If you really start, wanting to rely on any of these pitchers we got today. I think truly today there's like two guys I could stomach. But other than that, man, just make your lineups and whatever else is left and fits. I mean, that's the way I feel about it today because, man, pitching is bad. I think there's 4 dudes over 8K or something like that.
Yeah, you got that right. So we're looking at it right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above 8K right now. Again, we are screen sharing SaberSim. Absolutely what you said, though. Whether we got everything right yesterday or everything wrong, there'll be days that we definitely have both. Daily fantasy sports, DFS, does not matter what happened yesterday. Well, that's your Shalhoub. You can pretty much retire. Just kidding. You ain't retiring on 300, but you can do a lot.
Don't give it all back, buddy. Don't give it all back.
Exactly. Don't give it all back. I trust him. He's been in the game a long time. I don't think he will be giving it back. Juice is in here. Ricky's in here. Look at that. Going to see some Metallica. I don't know Pantera. I can get chirp for that, but I'm not sure who that is. I do know a little bit of Metallica. Gyiraszin?
Metallica, they're loud. And now I've had 2 of my friends tell me who've been to AC/DC. I've never seen AC/DC. They're telling me AC/DC is louder than Metallica. I was like, whoa, that's almost impossible. But
you get nervous?
It was pretty loud too when I saw them. But man, I mean, if AC/DC is louder than Metallica,
You definitely have fun tonight, Gyiraszin, doing that. You talked about the sunshine. I'm back in Arizona, so I finally get to see what some sunshine looks like. I couldn't believe it. I was in Wisconsin talking to you during shows. You were saying how beautiful it was in Michigan. It was never beautiful in Wisconsin, maybe one day. So I'm happy to be back in the sunshine here. No one else to say hi to? We're sweating out some early baseball. I saw Max Muncy finally hit a baseball over the fence. I mean, crazy. I didn't know that dude could still do that, but He's on the board, sweating out a 4-game early slate. We're talking 9-game main slates. Weather, first thing I always do, go to Kevin Ross Weather Report on Roto Grinders. I see nothing in orange, so that means to me every single game is going to play normal. If something does change, I remember like last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, we had a game, the KC game. We thought it was going to be good. It got worse and worse as time went. Roth tweeted something. I went in the Discord. I tagged the MLB chat, Ross update, and I said, I'm getting off. We had a chalk pitcher in that game. Can't remember exactly who it was. It was Lorenzen. It was the Lorenzen day. Somehow he was chalk low. I'm like, and Bobby Witt was chalk. I'm like, I'm getting off the game. It's not worth the risk, in my opinion. Does not look like anything today. But if that is the case, Discord, turn on notifications, could definitely save you a lot of money. People still, Lorenzen, Bobby Witt, they still came in like 20% on that slate. So yeah, Casey and the Rockies. Yep. Good memory, Ricky. If anything changes, we will take the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, and we're going to talk some baseball. Literally no better time to get in. Why is that? Usually $99 for our content and SaberSim Core and the Discord. Use that code DGen75. Get you $75 off your first month. Less than $1 a day. Only $24. All of our content and SaberSim Core and the best Discord out there. People rooting on Shalhoub yesterday. Man, it was fun waking up this morning seeing all those screenshots. So we would absolutely love to have you. We're screen sharing Saber here. The only filter I do have on, it is telling me, actually, you know what? Maybe I'm going to do this. I'll lower this to 8.5. Not that I think I want to play any pitcher. That's only projected at 9. But because the pitching slate is weaker, I'll say 8.5. So I am excluding pitchers projected for 8 points or less. That is the only filter I have on. Let me refresh the SaberSim projection that's new up here. Let's take the average of Ship Nation and SaberSim, which we got. Average of Ship Nation and SaberSim. Talking pitcher. So right away, I searched by ownership. Christopher Sanchez, 45% owned. Yeah, it's a pretty bad pitching slate when a guy named Christopher Sanchez is 45% owned today. I do think he'll be the highest. I think Valdi might be a little higher than Matthew Boyd. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like 33, something like that. Then he can go like 29, 17, something like that. Obviously, I mean, the ownership's been pretty good. It's really hard to do ownership in all sports. I think Evaldi will probably be SP2 right now. He is the second highest projected. He is the highest price, but only 9.2K, 800 more than Boyd. So I think it'll be something like this, Gyiraszin. Sort right here, 8K and above. Luis Severino, all the way up to Nathan Evaldi. What are we doing today?
Dude, it is ugly, as you said. I mean, you were talking about Sanchez. My man is a ground ball pitcher. I mean, the dude he's like 67% to lefties and 56% to righty ground ball. I mean, and he's going to be the chalk, but I mean, rightfully so, because the rest of these dudes up here just, it's awful. It's just bad news. I mean, you're looking, going from up to Severino. I mean, I'm not interested in playing Luis Severino, who's just an old veteran pitcher that I have no interest in against the Rangers. Sanchez, as you mentioned, at 8,200. I mean, he's got the matchup against the Nats, but as we say, I mean, Nats are a team that don't really strike out all that much to begin with. It's just a team we don't generally like to go after for strikeouts. So, but I mean, you want to talk about safe on this slate, especially at that price. Definitely can see why. But Boyd, to me, kind of scares me. He's a fly ball pitcher. Now, he gets a matchup against the Pirates, which, I'm not too worried about. But Boyd, I mean, he's not really somebody that's going to get you a ton of Ks either. I mean, 4 Ks, 3 Ks. He did have 7 and 5, but, he typically gives up 2-3 earned runs. Last game, he gave up 10 hits. I mean, I think he's kind of safe, but I see no upside really with Boyd. I kind of looked into Boyd more than some of the others. I mean, like Rasmussen, he's get the Royals. The Royals don't strike out all that much. I mean, Rasmussen did start off the season fairly well. You feel like you got a good chance possibly at a quality start. With just some of the innings he's gone, even though I am concerned a little with his pitch counts, always been in the mid 80s. So, but he does seem to get through like 5 innings, but he did have 2 games with 7 Ks. So, but I'm not a fan of the matchup. Like I said here with the Royals, don't all strike out all that much. It's a little concerning with him. Obviously, like we said, this whole pitching slate sucks. And then you move up a little bit with Burns. I think Burns is just a little bit. If his name wasn't Corbin, we just think of Corbin Burns from the past. Now he's going to get one of these matchup here against the Mets, who look like they're seeing beach balls lately, as many runs as they've been putting up. So that's definitely concerning with Burns. And then you mentioned Eovaldi. He's been pitching really well, actually, here so far this season. 27% K rate, not walking anybody, really low walk rate, 2% walk rate. He's got a 2 ERA. Really not bad at 9,200. So I think that's when you were mentioning with Sanchez and Eovaldi, will probably be the two that do get some love. I mean, really, even if you get down below, as we're going to talk about in a minute, it gets much worse. So for me, truly, I think there's only like 4 guys I'd even consider playing today, Title, really. Eovaldi, Sanchez. You could probably throw Rasmussen in there. And I probably, just out of pity, would probably throw Boyd in there. But other than that, man, it's ugly.
Is it ever ugly, Gyiraszin? So when you're going to talk about the lower tier, I started a new build. I'm going to see kind of like what our numbers, again, taking the average of SHIPIT Nation and SaberSim. I'm going to use SaberScore in a little bit and kind of just see what SaberSim is thinking with our numbers. On a slate like this, when I think it's so wide open and I don't have a strong lean, like yesterday, we had a strong lean on things. DeGrom was my clear SP1, but we clearly like to spend up at pitcher. We didn't like going down low at pitcher too much. So we had 8 guys in the pool. 2 of them, one was Francis, one was Gusto. If you took those 2 out, which we didn't love, we capped them. We had 6 guys up top, and you needed to spend up at pitching. We felt better. Even if it didn't work yesterday, we still had a stronger lean. I don't
5 pitches, Title.
Yeah, crazy.
Dude,
crazy.
I was like, why? I think we got to keep that in our memory bank moving forward because, dude.
He was elite.
Absolutely. And most guys, when they're feeling like that, and you go to yank them out after 65 pitches, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer would have told the manager, you get back in the dugout, I ain't coming out. So I got to believe they've already had this conversation.
Yeah, so, rightfully so. Like, he's had a long terms of a lot of years of injuries. You want him healthy late in the year, the postseason. The game was out of hand. They scored runs. So, we like Texas bats. Did we think they were going to jump out and get that big of a lead? If it was 6-2, I don't think that would have really happened, something like that. But yeah, so another thing to look at on this slate, pitches right here. Eovaldi, 90, Christopher Sanchez, 90, Boyd, 91. I think it's clearly Sanchez, Boyd, Eovaldi, and it is chalk. And then AK and below, it's Tobias Myers. The reason for that, he's playing the White Sox. Now, before I do throw it to AK and below, I'll mention K props like I always do. You know it's a bad pitching slate when the highest is 5.5 minus 125 on the over. That's Eovaldi today. The next best, 5.5 minus 115 on the over. Christopher Sanchez. The next best, Matthew Boyd, 5.5 plus 105 on the over. The next best after that, Corbin Burns, 5.5 plus 120 on the over. It's a slate. If you told me this pitcher is getting 17, sign me up every single day. Absolutely, right now, I will take 17 and I will move on. And then when we're going to talk about bats, obviously, if we don't like a lot of pitchers, we obviously are going to like a lot of bats. That is the case up here. You can see a pretty good amount of high team totals. Now, for me, I like picking on the Pirates. So Matthew Boyd becomes a pivot, I guess, but he'll probably be the 3rd highest owned. Rasmussen's it's really hot. It's just like yesterday in Tampa. It's like 80-something degrees in that park. He's a pivot in the upper tier. You talked like you were fine with him. He projects close to these guys at pretty much half the ownership. So I'm leaving him in the pool, but by no means do I like it. And I'll let you talk about these guys below, but Tobias Myers, again, he will probably be the chalkiest down below. Let me click pitcher, not Aaron Judge. He will be the chalkiest below 8K. Long story short, I will probably be eating chalk at pitcher, which really sounds gross on a slate. I don't like pitching too much, but yeah, Eovaldi, Sanchez, they've been the best so far. Boyd gets one of the best matchups. Tobias gets one of the best matchups. That's how I'm going to play it. But you talk 8K and below, and I'm going to kind of see what SaberSim with our numbers and the average is looking at.
Yeah, just kind of looking at 8K and below here with Matt sitting here. It's 8 games on FanDuel, so let's not forget, too, that it starts at 6:35 today. So that's a little bit different.
Yep,
but
on DK, too. So which game's FanDuel leaving off?
FanDuel left off the doubleheader of the St. Louis-Cincinnati game.
Good call.
So that's not on the FanDuel slate. But I know most people on here are playing on DK. But, I'm not interested in an Irvin against the Philadelphia team. Giolito hasn't thrown, a pitch since 2023. He's been out quite some time. So who knows what you're getting out of that mess. As you mentioned, Harris will be fairly chalky. I mean, at that price there, you're getting an SP2 against the shitty White Sox. I mean, you're kind of hoping for a W there, 7,200. And then on the other end of that game with Shane Smith, I think he could be in play too at 7K against the Brewers team. I mean, he hasn't looked all that bad. And on a slate like today, I mean, he's got a 2.30 ERA. I mean, I think he's a decent pivot here. It's just hard. You feel like you're not going to get a win out of him, because it's the White Sox. But he hasn't been too bad. I mean, his pitch count hasn't been really where you want. I mean, he's been like 82, 73, 79 pitches, but he has had 7 Ks his last start. So, but the Brewers really don't strike out all that much against right-handed pitching. But still, on a slate like today, it could be something that's doable. Like I said, there isn't too much that really stands out in the pitching. So really, I mean, truly, really down low title. I mean, I'm not interested in any of these other guys here down below. I mean, you got 3, 4K pitchers on the slate today. I mean, you generally don't see that. And I don't see any way of, even wanting to play any of these guys, to be truthful. So, yeah, I mean, Smith for me and Tobias is probably Myers would be the only guys I'd probably look at here down below in the same game.
I'm going to need you to talk about Cameron. So I ran I took our average. I put 150 lineups in SaberSim using the Saber score, which most people use the Saber score. If you do want the contest sims, which I use, we do have an option for it. $297 for your first day, then $321. The best deal, if you've already did use your DGen 75 for your first month at Core, only $30 more is the starter package. Allows you to build 350 more teams and see contest flashback and get SaberSim's projections and ownership. So you can take the average. But again, most people are probably on the Core or the starter pack. So we're using Saber score. Kind of what we thought. Christopher Sanchez, SP1, agree. Evaldi, SP2, agree. Matthew Boyd, we have 4th right here, but still underweight to the field. Now, Noah Cameron was the one that was surprising. With that being said, he's only $4,000. His pitch count, according to SaberSim, they're projecting that 79 pitches. Again, it is warm in Tampa, but I'm not worried about the lineup. His K-prop on this slate is actually not bad. 3.5, minus 170 on the over. And on a slate where we want a lot of bats and some spend-up bats, if Cameron gets me 12 on this slate, I'm probably good with it. So I think this is one of the spots where I would trust SaberSim. And again, taking the sort by leverage, and what this is telling me is our exposure versus the ownership. By far, Cameron is our highest leverage pitcher. And again, just the dry run without changing anything. It's giving a lot of Cameron. Most negative, Matthew Boyd. Again, I thought this was like 27%, and then it would be something like Evaldi at 30%. And then when we do that, it would have, Evaldi would be slightly underweight too. And again, this is with making no changes, but what stands out, Sanchez, Boyd, Evaldi, which we thought is there. Tobias Myers would be my next. Then Cameron standing out a lot though. So any thoughts on Cameron at min price 4K?
Just kind of looking here. When I first looked at him, he's coming in, obviously filling for Reagan's. Cameron doesn't seem to have any really two kind of control issues. He's a little bit above average as far as strikeout rate last year in his 2 spots that he made it through in the minors. It looks like 2 spots here, 2 teams. He had 128 innings. He had 149 K. So he's a little bit higher than a K per inning, which is decent. I guess on a pitching slate like today, I guess you could talk me into it, really. I mean, I just didn't really put too much thought into Cameron, to be truthful.
Me neither.
I mean, I'm looking at them guys as, I was kind of thinking, oh, he's probably going to be an opener more or less, and it was going to be a bullpen type game. Maybe a lot of times when these guys come up, they only let them go through the lineup one time. So,
but his pitch count, I don't think that'll be the case. Seeing 3.5 -170 on the over, and then seeing Saberson project him at 79 pitches. The more I look at it, I like it. Now, this was the big concern, and I mentioned it earlier. It's really hot in Tampa, but the dude's 4K on a slate that pitching is not good. So, yeah, Jay, you're in a good spot.
So far, he's pitched 22 innings in the minors so far this year in 5 games. So he's averaging 4 innings basically in his 5 starts that he had for let's see, who is he? Omaha in AAA. So 22 innings pitched, 5 games. He had 27 strikeouts, gave up 15 hits. So, not too bad, almost a little over 10 strikeouts per 9. But I guess on a slate like today, like you said, you take a 17. I mean, if you get 12 from a guy that cost you 4K, ain't gonna kill you.
No, I mean, especially if no one else does their job, if Sanchez and Evaldi don't get there and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm glad we did run the dry run. Noah Cameron would be a guy that I definitely do have interest in. And again, SaberSim thinks Rasmussen is an interesting pivot. I don't love it as much, but this KC team is not good. What's his K prop? 4.5 -165 on the over is pretty good. Man, it's just the park and the heat keeps getting to me, but I can't be picky on a slate that really doesn't have great pitching. So after looking at all that, going back and looking at pitching, I would probably go like this. No Irvin. No Giolito. I know you mentioned Giolito. I can't click that in. He's garbage.
I can't click him either.
Wendell, Pavich. This is what I'd be. I'd be these 6 right here. And I mean, Sabres, without even doing it, Saberson already had Evaldi up there, Sanchez, Toby, etc. So these are the 6 that I would do in 20 entry, 10 entry. Maybe I'd include actually probably 20 entry, and then I'd spread out bats more. So this is what I got at pitching. Any final thoughts for you to wrap up pitching before we talk some bats?
No, man, it's ugly, like you said. Pojen Stoner got the right idea. Eat you a 500 milligram edible, and you better go outside and hold on to grass so you don't fall off the earth. But either way, I mean, yeah, pitching's ugly today. So, I think I'd pretty much be starting with my bats and figure out what I got left, man. If I ain't got shit left for pitcher, all I need is 12K, and I can get Cameron and get me Sanchez, and
yeah.
Let's roll, man. I could roll up some bats. So I think that's interesting. More we talk about it. And that's why I like doing this show. When I come on, I can have be talked into something or something more. Now, maybe a little bit more of a reach on FanDuel, but yeah, especially FSP2 over on DK, man, I don't see a problem with it. If we all knew he was going to get 12, even 13, I think pretty much that'd be an auto click.
Oh, for sure. Especially projected at 10%. I mean, yesterday you talked me into those Red Sox. The more you kept talking about it, I was like, man, they are
hit a whole bunch of homers, man. That was cool.
Yeah, you were all over that one. So I always am open to, on every show coming in talking, and I can change my mind on stuff. But I feel better at pitching than I did coming into it. I feel pretty solid with those 6 today. Now, again, when pitching's really tough, that means there's a lot of good offenses on this slate. The edibles, no. Let me know what Bob Stoner, let me know what the edibles are telling you right now. And Gyiraszin, I'll ask a question that he always asks. Is this an indica or sativa slate?
This one here is an indica slate. Because yesterday was sativa. We had to think a little bit. Today's one of those slates we got to play shit we don't like. So it's like, you kind of got to be out of it, to be able to stomach it.
I like that.
That's where I look at it.
All right, we're going to talk some bats. Again, one thing I also did want to say, for anyone new out there, in Discord, Shalhoub talked about something. Last year, he was in the DMs with Tambo, or I should say Tambo was in his DMs asking why Shalhoub didn't stack. And I guess Shalhoub and Nades talked a bunch. Shalhoub came from hockey. I think he got into it this year, also a stacking sport. And then baseball. It just was mind-opening, opened his whole mind in how to play the game, and, again, just won a ton of money. An hour and a half we talked right here. More education, MLB. All 5 of these sports have at least an hour, 4 hours for NFL, I believe 2 for PGA, an hour and a half for MMA, 2 for NBA, something like an hour and a half for MLB. And it talks about a lot of stuff, satellites, tournaments, the game theory, ownership, narrowing down player pool, etc. So if you are a member, do not forget, more education. Definitely check out the MLB video if you have not already.
And to add to that title, on the other end of it too, we have the DFS Mastermind, which is a little extra add-on that we have that Tambo heads up. And I just last week did a video with Tambo specifically talking about baseball and a lot of fun DFS stuff. So any guys in the Mastermind, go there, check that out. And
I do think it might be free right now. It's Mastermind free tour, free videos. So you might be able to check that out for free right up above. And then get a paid subscription after that. Good call on that. All right, Gyiraszin, going to the first. Oh, look at that. Gyiraszin interview with Mastermind was excellent. There you go, Gyiraszin. Awesome stuff.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, 2-hole yesterday too. Josh Smith, I believe, was on
2+ bases, man. We should be looking into that more often because it just seems to be the honey spot, man. Like because it moves so much. You don't see too many dudes unless you're Shohei or somebody like that, or or Mookie Betts. You're always hitting in the 2-hole. But man, a lot of these teams switch that around, and I see that, and I'm like, manager knows a little something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely on fire about that. Don't think he said anything you shouldn't have on Mastermind. I'll have to check that out. I did.
I was in good behavior.
I always loved listen to my man and talk with my man Gyiraszin. All right, Gyiraszin, pitching. I now feel pretty good about it on this awful slate. Narrowed it down to 6. Talk to me about these bats though, because I'm struggling tiering these teams. Like they're all, and that's part of the reason I wanted to narrow down pitcher is I would play more bats than I otherwise would, like spread out my stacks more. There's no way I'm going all in on a certain stack or two. I will definitely diversify more. And I tightened up at pitching. So I already know that's my broad slate there, but I'm going to need you to talk to me about some of these bats. And the first one, the Yankees and the O's. Looking at it, 4.87 implied runs for the O's, 4.83 for the Yanks. Man, these Yanks yesterday, back to back. Obviously, they weren't on the main slate, but yeah, Kyle Gibson was not in for a fun night. I mean, you can easily go back to these Yankees, I think. Guaranteed 9th inning at bat. Solid hitting weather. I believe it's pretty warm in Baltimore. Yeah, 80 degrees. I mean, both sides of the play. Cookie Carrasco's no good either. So start with this one. What do you see?
I mean, let's just game stack this one, pick our pitchers, and let's just go home. I mean, right off the bat, it seems easy. We'll just game stack Baltimore and the Yankees. I mean, I got both of these in my top handful of stacks here today. So, yeah, definitely a place I'm going to be looking at for some of these bats. As you mentioned, Carrasco absolutely stinks. I like the righties against him here. Mountcastle, I think, is in a really good spot. But, yeah, I think you could play both sides here. As you mentioned, the Yankees, we obviously know they have a ton of power. Cade Pavlich here, low strikeout rate. He's got 16% to lefties. Not much of a ground ball pitcher. Gives up 32% to both sides of the plate as far as fly balls, which is concerning for him, especially against the Yankees here today, who have 6 out of 9 players that are over the 27% fly balls, and everybody else is around 30. Judge is 38%. So, I mean, yeah, good opportunities here for both teams. We got one of the highest totals. I think it is the highest total on the slate at 9.5.
Yep. 2 at 9.5. Yep. This one. Yeah. This one in the Boston game.
Yep. So, but yeah, coming out the gate here, Baltimore has been getting beat up a little bit too on the pitching side. So, Yankees, you get that 9th inning at bat, but yeah, I think this one right out the bat, man. I think you're gonna, you could load up this one and be in, a couple first inning, you're gonna be up there in the top in the money. And I think this one here could last for a minute and keep you through the rest of the night, because I think there could be all kinds of DFS runs and goodness in this one.
If you had to pick a preferred side, who'd you pick, O's or Yanks?
I'd go Yanks.
Yeah, I mean, they're hitting the ball so well. It's hard to argue that. They're getting a lefty. So Goldie, Aaron Judge. You definitely can still play the Ben Rices of the world, Bellinger, Wells. It is interesting, though. Hitter rankings don't love it as much. It is worth noting, though, like the hitter rankings do include the Dodgers from earlier. It includes Coors Field from earlier, which is not on the slate. So that is something to keep in mind. Yeah, definitely one of the best games at target. Only 2 games at 9.5. This one, and then the Boston Red Sox, and pretty much both are favored to the under. This one plus 100 on the over. Boston's minus 105. Let's keep it moving. Pop Stoner has me dying. Anything sounds good to Pop Stoner right now, that's for sure. All right. Pittsburgh Pirates and the Chicago Cubs. Cameron Maldinsky, again, Matthew Boyd on the mound, 8.5 total, minus 120 on the over. Weather in this one, let me see. It is 65 degrees, wind blown out just a little bit to right. Pretty much nothing there. I mean, talk about a team that one of the best offenses in baseball. Looking at ownership, lower than the Yanks, pretty much the same as the O's, higher run total. You get guaranteed 9th inning at bat. I mean, I like playing the Cubs whenever I can play the Cubs. And the Pirates don't have a good pitcher on the mound. I'm not sure about their bullpen. I know you're the bullpen guy. But if the Cubs jump out 5-6-0, they aren't going to get the best Pirate bullpen arms anyway. So, I mean, we're literally talking about one of the best offenses in baseball. 1 through 9 very much in play. And Pete Crow Armstrong is a motherfucking stud. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs are one of the surprise teams so far, if you ask me, as far as just, guys overall hitting as a team. I mean, they've been smashing. You mentioned PCA there. I mean, dude, that guy, he's come out of nowhere. Hap here in recent times been hitting pretty well too, who was like a low price piece of that. But I mean, if you look at this Cubs team and you want to stack up the Cubs and you start putting in Kyle Tucker and a few other of these dudes, you might as well already tell yourself you're going to be playing Noah Cameron today.
That's fine though. On a slate like this, I'm totally fine doing that. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's like you might as well already consider that done. Yeah. But I mean, I don't mind at all. I don't know how many people are really going to go that route. I think it could be totally different today. So I think it's really interesting because the Cubbies are expensive. I mean, and you're sitting here. The Pirates bullpen's about average. Really isn't too good, but I mean, this Carmen Modinsky, he isn't anything special here. I mean, shit, Carson Kelly's been, hitting really well here. Bush has got a 412 WOBA. I mean, this whole damn team up and down is hitting. So, I mean, yeah, I think the Cubs here are definitely in play. I mean, they're very expensive. I think, like the Yankees, if you want to stack up the Yankees, they got a couple cheap pieces that are, kind of easier to fit in, especially at the, bottom half of that lineup with, Dominguez, Reyes, Cabrera, Wells and all that cheap of Volpe. So, I mean, the Yankees are a little cheaper than obviously the Cubs are going to be. But, man, I think the Cubbies are right up there. I mean, how can you not want to play the Cubs? I mean, they're one of the best teams in baseball.
If I had to pick on this slate, Cubs are my favorite stack. Yankees are 2, O's are 3. And we only talked about 4 teams so far on the slate.
I can go with that. I mean, yeah, in any kind of combination. But
yeah, for sure. Not as strongly. You like Parker Meadows? Yeah.
We miss
his boy's
him.
Also Torkelson. His boy's Torkelson too. Who's now good, but that man was a coaster boy for a year.
Right, I was thinking Torkelson because I went and watched him down in minors, and the sound off his bat, that dude could hit the shit out of a baseball. He finally figured out how to hit a baseball. Everybody better watch out. I think he's going to. Dude, everybody liked him. So I collect a lot of sports cards, obviously you can see, but that year when them cards came out, Torkelson was more coveted than Bobby Witt Jr., if that tells you anything. So, Witt Jr. now, obviously, his cards are through the roof because he's a pimp. But, Torkelson may get there, but he's going to take him a little longer to get there. But, man, Parker Meadows is almost, that guy is special. But, yeah, he's about as good as Kyle Tucker is could be, or Parker Meadows could be as good as Kyle Tucker one day. But, Tucker today I think is one of the better bats on the slate.
Yeah, Cubs, if I had to pick, these Yanks, Cubs, always are my favorite. I would say if I had to pick one team, I'll go with the Cubs as my favorite stack on the slate, 1 through 9. Like when you can play Carson Kelly in the 8-hole, PCA in the 7-hole, Carson Kelly in the 8-hole. If you want to fill out a cheap third baseman, John Birdie, I'm fine with. I mean, this lineup is very fun to stack. So, well, pretty much talked about all my favorite offenses, but we will keep it moving. This is the game that is on DraftKings and not FanDuel. So, again, 9 games on DK, 8 games on FanDuel. Both slates lock at 6:35 Eastern. This is a good one, though, in terms of you're looking at the total, a 9 total, Cards and the Reds. We are looking at minus 122 on the over as well. Minus 118 are the Reds, minus 102 are the Cardinals. Hitting weather, I mean, Great American Small Park, always love playing bats there. 70 degrees, definitely solid hitting weather. Steven Matz, who do you want against them? You want righties. There's no doubt about that. Pretty big splits for Matz. So I'd be looking at pretty much all the righties. Ellie is the only lefty, or Ellie and Friedel are the only lefties projected in this lineup. And of course, you can always play Ellie, and he grades out well. Pretty cheap if you want to spend up at pitching or spend up at secondary stuff. Implied for 5.05 runs. Card side against Abbott. I'll let you talk about that. I'm not sure what to do with the Cardinals. I do think they'll be pretty low owned, but the Reds righties I do have interest in. What do you like?
Yeah, it's hard to play the Cardinals. They can't hit their way out of a damn paper bag, so they're almost getting down there with the Royals and the Blue Jays. You know, they're getting close. They're going to be in that realm there pretty soon too, if they don't get their shit together. But I mean, on the other end of it, as you mentioned with Cincinnati, a little concerning. I mean, Matz doesn't really give up too many fly balls at all. He's more of a ground ball pitcher, heavy ground ball lean to the left side. So, you know, it's almost 62%. So you mentioned there's only going to be Friedel and Ellie. So that's just a little concerning with those two. But yeah, I mean, I'd just pretty much leave it alone. I mean, I'm playing on FanDuel, so I mean, I won't have to worry about this one. But man, I don't want nothing to do with those cards right now. I'm like I said, they're this close to being in the Blue Jays and the Kansas City bucket.
And you'd prefer like the Yanks, the Cubs, the O's over the Reds if you had to choose? Pretty similar run total.
Those three are in the top of the stacks tonight, as you mentioned. These guys here are nowhere near.
All right, let's keep it moving. Next game on the slate. Again, appreciate all 105 hanging out live, watching on playback. Appreciate it as well. All we ask, the like button and the subscribe button. It helps us out a ton. We do have a PGA show later as well. GS Luke, the absolute man, will be going live later on the channel. And again, all golf. It starts at 7:50 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. That's 4:50 my time. That means golf is definitely going to be locked in tonight. Man, no better golf team by far out there. Shout out to Lee Aldrich on the course fit rankings, DGen's notes, scorecard, of course, Slate playing Stone, showdown content, always big prize pools in golf. So always love golf because one of my favorite days is Friday. The reason that I love sweating the golf cut line on Friday because I mainly just cash. So I pretty much know, am I making money this week or am I losing money based on Friday? Always fun and definitely more fun with the best team in the business. So give that a try if you have not tried golf. And again, we do have more education, PGA, if you've never played golf. All right, Gyiraszin, Philadelphia Phillies and the Washington Nats. We are looking at a 8 total, minus 118 on the under. Phillies, big favorites, minus 250. Again, Christopher Sanchez will be the chalk pitcher. I'm not stacking the Nats. I don't need direct leverage on this 9-game slate. I would rather play the Cardinals than I would play the Nationals. And that's saying a lot after what Gyiraszin just said. The Phillies against Jake Irvin, I don't know. I mean, these lefties definitely look pretty solid. Jake Irvin, you do want to play lefties, then righties. The splits are pretty big. Stott, okay. Mainly Harper, Schwarber. Max Kepler's cheap. He grades out pretty well, so I'll add him in there as well. But Harper, Schwarber are pretty elite mini stack. The thing is, like, if I like the Yanks, I'm probably playing Judge. If I like the Cubs, I'm probably playing Kyle Tucker and Happ and spending up there. But there's enough cheap pitching using a Schwarber Harper mini. And if you didn't play Judge in a Yankee stack or something like that, that is a way you can get different. Yeah, I like those two. But again, like, I just really like the Cubs. I really like the Yanks. I really like the O's. I'm not going to say I love every team. So, but yeah, Philly minis with the lefties is how I see it. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the lefties. I mean, it does grade out well, but man, Irvin's just a guy that's just tough to really, score too much on. But just kind of looking here at Irvin, he has been going 6-7 innings. But the K's, he did have the one big K game, which for me just kind of scares me off a little bit of Philadelphia, just because of, they he just doesn't get beat up. He did give up 4 earned runs twice, but every other time has been 1 or 2 earned runs. I think there's just other spots today that are really good. And I think you're going to see a lot of people be able to pay up for some bats. So I'd just be a little concerned. You mentioned, the 3 guys you would want, the lefties, even Stott at the top, Harper Schwarber. I mixed the 2 names together again. Last time, what was it? Boober and Uber or whatever it was?
Bubik and Ober.
Yeah, and I said Bober.
Rio was all over that one.
But yeah, I mean, I guess there's just better spots for me. I mean, we're sitting here looking at a game that's got a 7.5 total. So yeah, I'd pass.
I agree. I don't like it much. Mainly just lefties, Phillies as mini stacks or a one-off. All right, next game on the slate. Tampa Bay Rays, Kansas City Royals. 7.5 total in this one. -118 on the over. The Rays are -166 favorites. Rasmussen was a pitcher I kept in the pool, mainly for pivot stuff, but just the lack of pitching on this slate. K-Prop was fine. Royals have been bad. So the more I talked about it, Rasmussen was fine. And then Sabersim, with our projections and everything and on this slate, Noah Cameron was popping a bit. If I'm playing a pitcher on this slate of those 6, I would not stack against them in 20 teams or less. I don't have a Kikuchi on this slate. I don't have who's another one that sometimes
Robbie Ray.
Andrew Heaney, Robbie Ray, stuff like that where I can go both sides. I don't need it on a slate like this. So yeah, this is a cross off for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, if you're looking for a one-off and you think Noah Cameron's going to get any kind of ownership, I think Diaz sitting there in that 2-hole for Tampa looks interesting with his 387 WOBA against lefties. I think that's a guy you might be able to throw in your one-off pool. If he does get, 15, 20% ownership possibility, that Diaz wouldn't be a bad one-off to have.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, yeah, look at the Rays are still implied for 4.85 runs. You look at their ownership, 48% when compared to 62, 63, 68. So just looking at pure numbers, and I don't know how much ownership, like this 8%, maybe it's 12, 14. Like if Sabersim's showing it, again, we're not moving the needle on ownership really on the show, but people do use Sabersim. People see how bad a pitching slate it is. They see he's only 4K. They want to spend up at bats. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a 14, 15. And if that's the case, yeah, a one-off, a mini stack, power hunt that way is fine. Again, for me, there's enough ways to get different, though. These are 2 pitchers I'm playing, so I'm not playing the bats. But it is very warm in Tampa. There's no doubt about that. Next game, we got Boston Red Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays. This is the highest total, 9.5, -105 on the over. It was +100 in the Yankees game, so very, very slightly. Pretty much a coin flip, -112 the Red Sox. -108 are the Blue Jays. I'll throw it right to you in this one. Giolito and Rodriguez on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, Giolito's interesting. We don't know what the hell we're going to get with Giolito, and Toronto can't hit for shit anyway. But, hey, let's give Dalton Varsho the credit he deserves. That was one of the best catches I've ever seen in my entire life watching baseball, because I've done that when I've been playing softball. You're running out there and your fat ass cleat gets stuck in the dirt and you fall down. And for him to adjust and catch it like he was a pimp was flat out. I had to watch it like 3 times. Like, did I really just see what he did? I was like, holy shit, man. That was amazing, a catch.
Like, it sucked if you had Duran, because that was an inside the park home run.
Oh, 1,000%. And Duran had a home run to lead off the game, too.
I know. That would have flipped some leaderboards up top. That was a big-time catch. So, Shalhoub, if you're watching this, or Pickens or Dartsman, I don't know if Dartsman had him. He might have. But if you didn't have Duran and you won a lot of cheese yesterday, Dalton Varsho's got to be one of your biggest guys. Because, that was a 14 points right there.
Oh, man, that was an incredible catch. But, we talked about it yesterday, man. These Boston hitters, dude, they are up at the top of baseball these last few weeks. This absolutely nuking baseballs here recently. So, I mean, Rodriguez, 20% K rate to lefties. We got 25 to righties. We know Boston's got some lefties we like with Duran, Devers, Abreu, Cassis. I mean, I like it here. He's got a 33% fly ball rate to the right side. He's got a 29% fly ball rate to the left side, little even heavier lean, ground ball lean to the right side. So, I mean, you could see Story, Bregman possibly get the ball up in the air. I mean, you got Bregman 31%. You only got two guys. I mean, Campbell don't hit the ball much in the air. He's got 13% fly ball rate. Duran's actually kind of low too at 23, but everybody else is in the high 20s, low 30s. So, I mean, we could see them getting in some trouble here really quick. The Blue Jays, and shit, how many home runs they give up yesterday? So, I mean, I think Boston here is in another decent spot. I do like the three games we spoke about earlier better than this spot here with Boston, but Boston's definitely in play.
Yeah, with everything you said yesterday, and like comparing Boston's ownership, just like we just did with the Rays. First of all, the Rays and Boston are pretty much the same. Give me Boston all day, every day right now. And then Boston compared to the Red Sox, the O's, the Yankees, and the Cubs, they're like a 14% total ownership we have discounted for them. Hitting the ball very well, like you said, the past 2 weeks. Guaranteed ninth inning at bats. Not worried about this Rodriguez guy. If I had to pick a fourth favorite, it would be the Red Sox. And people are probably wondering, like, you're picking all the most expensive teams. I don't care about that. Pitching is so bad on this slate. We had a 4K pitcher in our pool. Tobias Myers below 8Ks in the pool. The highest pitcher on the slate is 9.2K. So I like building bats, like you said earlier, figuring out what you have after for pitching, then fill in mini stacks or something like that after. So, yeah, I'm in on Boston as well. They do rank below the other three for me, but I think they're very, very much in play today. This is a good question for sure. And I don't know the answer. I have no historical data on it. But I also think it's based like, did the bullpen just get worn out a ton? Was it a 12-2 game and they used multiple bullpen arms? Was it a 3-2 game, but the pitcher left in the third inning? Then they really had to use their best bullpen arms and do it that way. Are these guys seeing the ball really? I don't know. There's a lot to it. I'd have to probably try and look into that first game a lot. And even if I do, I don't know. Like I'm trusting Vegas and all their numbers to compute all that stuff and give me a fair line and look at that stuff. So I don't have anything.
The only thing that I really notice is you'll get, obviously a catcher isn't going to play twice. So, don't assume that, the starting catcher is going to be in one of the two games. They generally will not, rarely do they double bang a catcher back-to-back double headers. That's just never happens. But you could see more of a platoon type strategy too, where at the end of a game, first game or, second game, they might platoon a little bit, but generally the managers know that, and they manage through that to where, they don't leave their bullpen too thin. Now, sometimes I will say that I've noticed, I think managers are willing to let their pitchers go a little bit longer during a doubleheader type day. So, if that's the case, you could look at it that way, but how much of an edge is it? I can't really say. But, definitely, you'll get guys, that won't get the full 18 innings. They'll, be cautious. Just stuff like that is really what I pay attention to there.
If I had to choose, like what he said, like would batters perform better because they saw more pitches or worse because they're too tired? I would lean the first. I would say seeing more pitches that day would help them more at game two than I think fatigue would. I mean, it's not 95 degrees in any of these spots. It's not 90 degrees when it is. The roof's closed a lot. So these guys are ball players. They played their whole life. They probably played in a lot of warm weather. You get 4 at-bats a game. You're sitting in the field. It's not basketball where you're running up and down. So if anything, again, zero data on it, I would lean seeing more pitches, being more locked in that way than being tired. But
well, the other thing, it depends when the games are too. So if you get a game that's crossing shadows, so like shadows are a big thing in baseball too. So if a shadow starts coming in from behind the pitcher toward home plate and it's half a shadow from the pitcher to the mound, home plate, that's hard for a batter to pick up that pitch from the. So sometimes like, you'll see an Arizona game, if it starts at like, 6 o'clock, well, there's going to be shadows, like in there, like certain stadiums have more shadow issues than others. So I think like when you get at different times of double headers, you may run into that. Like I always used to love when the Yankees would play during the day with the sun out and they had their sunglasses on. They were always smashing the shit out of a baseball for some reason. Don't ask me why. It just seemed like it was a thing for a minute. But yeah, I guess that'd be the only concern is, the shadows are a big thing too.
Yeah, and long story short, I wouldn't look into it too much. I think there's too much guesswork. I haven't seen enough data to
That's
get there.
the thing about baseball title. There's so many different variables you could throw into your bucket.
For sure. But yeah, a very, very fair question. A good question. Yeah, the Cowboys, when there's shadows in their state or at Jerry's world, it can be not fun for some of the receivers.
Catching punts.
Right. Yeah, and catching punts for sure. All right, let's keep moving. Next game on the slates. New York Mets and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We are looking at a 8.5 total, -112 on the under. Pretty much a coin flip on the money line. -112 are the D-backs. I mean, man, we're not playing these pitchers. As good as the Mets are playing, I don't know. I'll let you. I prefer D-backs in this spot than the Mets. It's going to be a bullpen game. Like this Brasman guy might go through the order once, and then you're going to get a slew of guys. I don't love bullpen games by any means. What I do like is seeing very, very low ownership. I like guaranteed ninth inning at bats, and I love myself some Corbin Carroll. I don't love five-man stack the D-backs, but I would prefer them as minis. I don't know. Corbin Burns definitely is not the Corbin Burns of old, though, but it's a 9-game slate. I like the Red Sox more, all the other teams we talked about early, but do you have a different take?
I mean, I like the Arizona. They've been all four of these guys have been hitting really well. I mean, between Smith, Tawa, Carroll, and Eugenio after his big old day the other day, 4 bombs. But yeah, I mean, I do like the Arizona side too. I would rather have that. Arizona is, don't strike out much. They get the ball up in the air. And I mean, they got 4 guys in the top 25 in all of baseball and the highest slugging percentage the last 2 weeks, the 4 I mentioned. So I definitely like playing hotter hitters. Like I said, they fit the bill, kind of like we were talking about the Red Sox yesterday a little bit. So, I mean, I think today, these guys are swinging the ball well. I think Arizona's definitely in play today.
Click the wrong button. Yeah, you and I both, we think D-backs are pretty interesting, and they definitely grade out well in the hitter rankings, 35, 40, 27, 56, 78, and they're not that expensive outside of Corbin Carroll 6'1", Naylor's 5'1". Again, not that salary means much on this slate, but yeah, I think D-backs are pretty solid as well. Prefer them as minis, but I don't hate a 5-man at very, very low ownership, eating Eovaldi chalk, Sanchez chalk. Then you can get any bats, Schwarber, Harper, Judge, whatever you want to do after that. Oh, the lineup came out, no Arenado. There you go. All right, 2 games left, I believe. Next game on the slate, we have the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago White Sox. We are looking at a 7.5 total, -112 on the over, -162 are the Brewers. I'm playing Tobias Myers, so I am not playing the White Sox. I will say 2 guys do grade out pretty well in the hitter rankings. Andrew Benintendi, Luis Robert. I'd be fine with either of them as one-offs. Just because I'm playing a pitcher doesn't mean I want to X out the whole team. I just know I don't want a 5-man stack that team. Excuse me. Brewers side against Shane Smith. I mean, man, this Shane Smith guy, looking at like the sample's so small. He looks like he gives up some fly balls. Looks like his K stuff is the worst to lefties than righties. I don't know if there's enough sample really to know what Shane Smith is. What I do know, though, is I don't want to stack the Brewers compared to I like the Diamondbacks more, pretty much in the same spot. But a 5-man Brewers versus the O's versus the Yanks versus the Red Sox versus the Cubs. I don't think the Brewers are going to outscore them today. So, which means they're more mini stacks or nothing for me. What do you got?
Yeah, I have to agree with you too. And you got to kind of watch this one with the weather. There's some fear of, they could be playing through some sprinkles. So
yeah, he did upgrade. It was yellow-orange earlier, and now he's got yellow-green.
Okay.
So he did think it'll play, but that is a good call. This was the one earlier, but it looks like it should be good.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with Shane Smith, and it's, you mentioned his small sample size. He does give up fly balls. So 36% to lefty, 30% to righties. But I just think there's better spots here that we could have. be had. I mean, really, the highest fly ball percent hitter on the Brewers is Hoskins at 35%. So, but as I mentioned, he's a righty. So, I mean, just looking at the lefties, Trang's only 20%, Christian Yelich is 20%, Frelick 16%. If you want to go to Collins, he's at 28, respectable. But I mean, I just don't see any fly ball hitters here. I don't like it. The weather's not good. 7.5 game total. Nah, let's move on.
Let's move on to the last game of the slate. Again, before we do, got to pull up the code again. Zero better deal out there. There's no chance anyone in the industry has a better deal than this. Usually $99 for all of our content, SaberSim Core, and Discord. Use that code DGen75. Get you $75 off for your first month. Only $24 for your first month. Gets you SaberSim, gets you Discord, gets you all of our content. And again, even though it's not NFL season, PGA's going, NBA playoffs going, MLB's going, MMA's going, NHL playoffs is going, and NASCAR's going. Big boy contest every Sunday in the NASCAR streets. That's 6 sports right there. And in our Discord, it's not paid. We don't have any admin for it. But tennis, UFL. I saw a big win for UFL. I think it was like DFS. Oh, I'm going to butcher his name. I can't remember exactly, but someone had a big UFL win. He took first place, like 2000 or something like that. They talk about that in the college football chat. So many knowledgeable people in the niche sports as well, members in our community. We have Discord sections for it. It's not charged, anything like that. But there is even more sports going on than those 6 that we do offer up there. So $24.
I'm going to say something too, Ty. I was been meaning to say, it comes in my mind once in a while. I think our Discord is one of the best I've seen. I mean, I've been around. I've seen a few different companies' Discords, and man, they get toxic real quick, man, when something goes shitty or whatever else. And I think we do a good job at SHIPIT at kind of nurturing along our members, and they understand what games they're playing. And I think we do a better job of education. So we don't see all that much. And we get the once in a while chirping, but we don't see it. Don't turn shitty quick. Like I've seen it really happen. And I just think, that's just really of the good job we all do of trying to explain, like, what you're in, what you're playing, what you're in for. I mean, we're not out here telling you, read my slate plan and you're just going to be stacking hundies all the time. That ain't the damn way it works. I mean, I wish it was, because damn, I'd have my own t-shirt. It would say Gyiraszin on it, or some bullshit. I mean, that's just not the way it goes. So, but I mean, I think we do a really good job of that. And I think our Discord is really helpful, really, really knowledgeable.
100% for a lot of the reasons you said. Also, big shout out Tambo and Hoop. Right when they started, they put their foot down. The least thing you want is a toxic Discord. But a lot of what you said, we aren't just a picks place. We're going through. We're not going to say we love every team. I know people want a more narrow path, stuff like that. But coming up with your own process. That's why SaberSim's so big. You walk through like running a dry run, seeing what that does, K-props, weather. We try and all talk through it, but don't just plug in the core and hope you win. That is not the way to play DFS. And that is why we preach and actually do education, spend hours on this, trying to help you guys make a process, etc. The ultimate, if you're an ultimate package, for once a month, Rio, Tambo, and Hoop just did it. You get, if you're an ultimate member, a roundtable discussion on Zoom. You can ask questions, little things like that. Pick the brain. We're not giving you our process by any means, but questions in SaberSim stuff, features that you can add and improve to it. And this one, shout out that late today, 3rd in the turbo yesterday by Sean. What a day was it for many. And there you go. Best culture and education. Appreciate that, Sean. Very, very nice words. Ross, a lot of the guys in Discord backing this up, but that's enough stroking ourselves, Gyiraszin. It's the last game of the slate. Texas Rangers, Oakland Athletics, 8.5 total, -115 on the over, -155 are the Rangers. I am playing Evaldi, so I'm not playing the A's. Can the Rangers run it back from yesterday? And man, what I will say, Jock Peterson is going to get a lot of ownership. Jock Peterson, you talk about not being able to hit out a paper bag. That's this guy. Adolis grades out well. Semien, Jung, Berger, Josh, they got the job done yesterday. Can they get the job done today? And Jock Peterson, I want you individually to talk about him as well, because he is going to get ownership at 2,400.
Jock Peterson. Yeah, right. I mean, no, I'll pass on Jack Peterson until the guy can at least show me he can play kickball. Dude can't even play T-ball, I don't think, man. Kickball, we're going to have to roll him one of them big red playground balls we used to have. How about that big medicine ball we used to have in gym class title? We'll just roll that right down the pitcher's mound to his ass and see if he can at least kick it. But, yeah, I mean, he's been bad. He's the only one. He's like the automatic out on that team, obviously, recently. But, I mean, really, the Rangers do grade out well. Severino, I mean, he's just an old, dusty old pitcher that doesn't seem to want to go away. I mean, his fly ball percentage out to righties is 30-some%. So, Wyatt Langford, Garcia, even Semien, Jung, I think all these guys, Jake Berger's been hitting the ball well. So, yeah, I like this Texas lineup up and down. It's one of the lineups in Major League that you look at it, you're like, man, the 7-8 hitters, 9 hitters don't look all that bad compared to some of these other squads we look at. So I don't feel like there's a road bump at the bottom. But Texas, for me, I think I'd put them in my top 5 today. I don't have them as high as like the Yankees, Baltimore. But, man, I do think they're up there. I think the Rangers are definitely in play today.
I agree with you. They do. I think I see it just like you. They're not above the Red Sox, the O's, the Cubs, the Yanks, but they're most definitely a team that I would be totally fine 5-man stacking. And again, their ownership, even after yesterday, there's 9 games on this slate. There's other teams people prefer. So when looking at this ownership, looking at the stack rankings, yeah, I'm definitely good with Texas. I think 5-man is in play. Gyiraszin, I got nothing left. I know you got to get to the AC/DC concert, get the slate plan, everything up. Final thoughts for the people. I hope you have a great, great night enjoying some music with the lady.
Well, I'm going to have to tell my customers tomorrow on the robotic side of the world and all the plants around here, this guy ain't going to be anywhere before noon. I can probably tell you.
Well, we do have a show early.
That's right. We're doing it. Well, that's even better why I won't be anywhere before noon, because I'm going to be doing the show with you. But you know what, Title? I'm going to come on here. I'll be bright and bushy-tailed, ready to go. And we'll talk about the day slate tomorrow. So make sure you guys come back and check that out. But, yeah, I mean, should be a good time tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I always like try catching these old bands. I'm old myself, so shit, AC/DC. I mean, that I graduated high school in 1990. Half you fools ain't even born yet. But either way, looking forward to it. Always fun. Let's have us another great night, man. I want to look at my phone and see some more of them screenshots. It's always cool to see that. Good times here at SHIPIT Nation. But, yeah, let's go kick some ass.
Absolutely. Gyiraszin, you have a great night. We will be live at 10:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. It is a 12:35 slate. That is the main slate tomorrow. I believe 9 games, so a big one. So we'll be live bright and early. Again, make sure to get those golf teams in. Use that code DGen75 if you're not a member for $75 off your first month. Enjoy the night, Gyiraszin. Appreciate all the support, everyone watching out there. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe on the way out. We appreciate it. For Gyiraszin, I'm Titletown. Good luck. Be safe. Peace.